Neo-Eden, a city of shimmering towers and advanced tech, held little charm for Zev. At 14, he felt more like a shadow than a citizen, constantly navigating the bustling crowds and neon-lit streets. He was small for his age, a target for bullies who roamed the lower sectors. Life had always been a struggle, especially after his mom died when he was 10. His father, a scientist once celebrated for his work in bio-augmentation, had become a recluse after his research was deemed too dangerous. Zev barely remembered the man his father used to be, the one who filled their tiny apartment with laughter and the aroma of strange but delicious concoctions. Now his father was a ghost even in life, lost in a world of equations and forbidden experiments. Zev missed him terribly, clinging to the memory of his father's warm hand and gentle voice. He still wore his father's last gift, a worn leather wristband with a curious insignia etched on the surface. QX. His father had told him to wear it always, that it would keep him safe. Zev had no idea how right he was. The wristband was a source of both comfort and fear for Zev. It was the last physical connection he had to his father, a tangible reminder of the love that still lingered despite the years of silence. But it was also a symbol of his father's downfall, a mark that drew unwanted attention from those who feared his father's work. Zev had learned to keep the wristband hidden beneath his threadbare sleeve, a secret talisman in a world that had turned its back on him. He spent his days scavenging for scraps and spare parts, trying to make sense of the jumble of notes and diagrams his father had left behind. He knew deep down that his father was onto something extraordinary, something that could change their lives forever. One night, as Zev rummaged through a pile of discarded electronics in a dimly lit alleyway, he felt a presence behind him. Two figures emerged from the shadows, their faces obscured by the hoods of their jackets. Zev's heart pounded in his chest. He knew these weren't just bullies, these were enforcers, sent to silence anyone who dared to delve into forbidden technology. "Where is it, kid?" growled one of the men, his voice a menacing rasp. Zev knew they were after his father's research, the secrets hidden within the jumbled mess of his notes. He wouldn't let them have it. He wouldn't betray his father's memory. Turning, he bolted down the alleyway, his thin frame weaving through the labyrinthine corridors of the lower sectors. The enforcers were close behind, their heavy footsteps echoing off the metal walls. Zev's lungs burned with exertion, his legs screaming for respite, but he couldn't stop. Not now, not when everything was at stake. He had a fleeting memory of his father's words. "Run, Zev, don't look back." He ducked into a side passage, his pursuers hot on his heels. The air grew heavy with the stench of ozone and burnt circuits as he stumbled into an abandoned laboratory. Wires hung from the ceiling like vines, sparking and spitting as if the very building were alive. It was a dead end, but it was also his only chance. Trapped, Zev whirled around to face his attackers. They advanced slowly, their faces illuminated by the flickering lights of the lab. He could see the cruel glint in their eyes, the anticipation of his defeat. Desperation surged through him, hot and primal. He glanced down at the wristband, his father's last gift. It felt strangely warm against his skin, as if imbued with a life of its own. He didn't know what compelled him, but he pressed his thumb against the QX insignia. The metal beneath his touch throbbed with energy, sending a jolt through his body. The world seemed to dissolve around him as a surge of power coursed through his veins. He felt a strange clarity, a heightened awareness of his surroundings. The enforcers' movements, once menacing and swift, now appeared sluggish and predictable. He could hear the whirring of their cybernetic implants, the faint hum of their energy weapons powering up, and he knew with a certainty that defied logic that he could outrun them.